Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast. I'm your host, your double E, Ina Esco. This podcast intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis flair. I need you all to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel and make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on all streaming platforms. Let's get right into it because I got one of my sisters with me today. I'm going to tell you how we met during the pod, but check it out. She is the principal over there at Alcy Elementary. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta, and she is truly a leader in the education system here in Memphis and beyond. I am talking about Eureka McAfee. What's up, sis?
Hi, Ina. How are you, love?
I am good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Do you remember when we first met?
I do.
Okay, tell me. Let me see if you remember.
I remember we were at LeMoyne Owen, Coach Brown and I. She had this red Mustang, I'll never forget.
I remember that Mustang.
And we drove from Memphis to Millington.
Yeah.
I was like, Coach, she better be good, Coach. She better be good.
She better be good.
I remember pulling up to your house, Ina, and we talked to your dad. And he was a little skeptical about you coming to LeMoyne Owen. But Coach Brown made it happen. And the next thing I know, you were at LOC.
Baby, at LOC, Eureka, and, you know, other players showed me the ropes of LOC in South Memphis and really, you know, changed my life. And I love you, girl. I really do.
I love you more, Ina.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. But let's start at the beginning about your journey, Eureka McAfee. Where are you originally from? What part of Memphis?
I am from South Memphis, Carver High School, class of 95. Shout out to all my Cobras.
Yes.
I also attended Riverview Middle School.
Okay.
And A.B. Hill Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a good time growing up in South Memphis?
I did. I really did.
Okay.
I can remember growing up on Dempster Street. We were in the Best Apartments. I'll never forget that. And we got evicted when I was in the third grade. I didn't even know it was an eviction.
Okay.
I just remember going to school, and when we got out of school, my mom was at the bus stop.
Waiting on you.
Yes, and we walked to my grandmother's house, and there were most of our things there. But fast forward, got involved in sports. I always wanted to be a majorette.
Okay. Yeah, because
But I
you was
didn't make the
always
majorette.
dancing and shaking that.
But you know what? I did not make the
You taught me
majorette
some
team.
moves. Why you didn't make the majorette team?
I have no idea. I just
They
didn't
was
have
hating.
it. I didn't have it back then. I didn't have it.
But you
Ina.
had
I
it at
didn't-
LeMoyne. You had it.
Growth and development, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, so I the coaches already knew my uncles, you know, the McAfees being there. So I started playing basketball and was starting. And so just matriculating through middle school then to Carver High School.
Okay.
Volleyball, basketball, track,
So you
Miss
were
Carver.
in all the, okay, Miss Carver.
94, 95.
Okay, Miss Carver. So you were very deep into the sports. Did you have other activities you like to do?
I always loved dance. Just kind of like cheer. I remember being a part of the Charmettes. That was like a little
Charmettes.
social club. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
at that time, real heavy into my small church, New Revelation. Small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
Yes.
I like that. So did you know you wanted to go to LeMoyne? How did you matriculate into LeMoyne happen?
Actually, I was going to TSU.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. But then I didn't want to leave Memphis. And I had some classmates, Benidra Robinson, Lysandra Bradford.
Shout out
Yeah, they-
to Benidra and Lysandra.
Yeah, they were already on the LeMoyne Owen volleyball team. And I was like, hey, I want to join them. And I remember going to LeMoyne and looking into their education program. And so I wanted to be at home.
Okay.
And Coach Cook recruited me my freshman year. I
Coach
was there. Eddie Cook.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was
know
the
him.
coach at LeMoyne Owen my freshman year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you got to LeMoyne, when you hit the scene, what were your thoughts immediately?
Actually, being the first person from my family to attend college, it was just all like a awe moment for me. And I just wanted to make sure that I did everything that I was supposed to do, on the campus. The campus is not really huge, but just the thought of staying in the dorms, my first time being away from home, from my parents, So I'm trying to remember everything they taught me, the do's and don'ts, just doing the right thing. But I was very, very nervous because I really didn't think that I was going to do well coming from South Memphis. You know, you put these stigmas on the optional schools and the traditional schools. And I was like, I need to come from Central to do good in college. But, you know, by the grace of God, I got in that thing and just did what I was supposed to do.
Yes, you did. Yes,
and
you
had
did.
fun while I was in it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, so Rika, and this is a question that I asked another one of our classmates, Jared Stevens, a couple of weeks ago. What do you think is the magic of LOC?
The family environment. That's the magic. You know, and people are very transparent at LeMoyne Owen.
Oh, yes, they are.
We'll get checked, right?
Okay.
And then we'll let you know.
You'll learn how to check.
Absolutely. But it's just a family environment. And you never meet a stranger at LeMoyne Owen, being that it's a small college and there are activities for you to get involved in. And people truly care about you at LeMoyne Owen. So I think that's the magic, the whole family environment and the athletics, you know.
Yes.
Sports saved my life, Ina.
Me too, girl.
It's the athletics.
Yes, me too. I feel you on that. I truly do. I truly do. Now, let's talk about what happened after LeMoyne Owen.
After LeMoyne Owen, I started my educational journey. I became a kindergarten teacher.
Immediately.
My first year, I was 22 years old.
How was that?
At Carnes Elementary School. It was, I'll never forget, Ina. You know, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. My parents taught me right from wrong. And I felt like they were strict parents, but they didn't at the time. And going into it, you just want your kids to just love you, your students. But I learned very fast that you have to provide structure and discipline for students. And can I share this one thing?
Yeah.
We had a librarian at Carnes Elementary School, Miss Jeffsy McGee. And my students went to the library. And at the end of their class, she said, "Come here, Miss McAfee. Let me tell you something." She said, "Miss McAfee,
What'd she say?
you better get these kids right." She said, "Take your foot, put it on their necks, and keep it there. Because if you don't, they going to run you and me both right up out of here." And it was at that moment that she gave me permission to be a disciplinarian. And it is okay to provide structure, not to be mean, but they need to know you mean business and their education is serious. So that was in 2000, the fall of 2000. So by the spring of 2001, we were ready.
You had that discipline down pat. What did you immediately incorporate, like from a discipline standpoint? What were you not doing?
I guess it was the follow through, redirecting. Like when you see students, you have to give them that immediate redirection. You can't expect them to self-correct unless you've taught them that. So I had to teach them that when they break a rule, there's going to be some immediate redirection. Then we talk about it. You know, we have to teach children because they don't know. We have to teach them what's right, what's wrong, and have their communication. So that was important.
So you
but I only did
that
1 year
early.
in kindergarten.
1 year in kindergarten. What was next?
5th grade.
Oh, that was a big
17
jump.
years, yes.
That's a whole nother mindset, 5th grade.
Absolutely. But when I interviewed with Mr. Boone, I love you. Shout out to Mr. Boone, the best. I asked him for 4th or 5th grade. He said, I don't have 4th or 5th grade, but I have kindergarten. But when we needed an extra 5th grade teacher, he came to me and I was like, "Well, Mr. Boone, I got kindergarten down pack." And once I went to 5th grade, I never looked back. I loved 5th grade.
What is it about a 5th grade? Because what age is that at that
That's
point?
10, and it's the exit grade from elementary, so they're like the seniors of the building.
Right.
Yes, and very independent. And you get to really shape and mold them. They trust you, and they understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. If you are intentional, deliberate, and strategic, and you're playing and they understand that you care about them, they'll perform. We had some great times at Carnes Elementary School.
You miss Carnes.
I do, and I miss Mr. Boone being my leader.
Mr. Boone, I got to meet you, Mr. Boone, because
Yes.
Eureka remembers you for sure. Now,
His birthday was yesterday. Happy
Was
birthday,
it?
Mr. Boone.
Okay, he's a Pisces like myself.
Oh.
My birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, today my son's birthday. Happy birthday,
Yes, it is.
Biggie. 21.
Happy birthday. He's 21.
21.
Tell him I
Taurus
said happy
Jr.
birthday,
I
little
will.
Taurus.
Tell him, Ina. Tell him
Happy birthday, little Taurus. You
I'm
remember
big
me?
Taurus now.
Big Okay. Look, Rika. Okay, now you got me giggling over here. Okay, so let's stick within the education realm for a second. So I know you were over there at Carnes, but you have matriculated quite a bit until where we are today as principal over there at Alcy. Tell me some more about that.
Okay, so I stayed at Carnes Elementary School for 12 years.
That's a long time.
Then Mr. Boone retired, so I wanted to go to middle school.
Okay.
But I ended up going to what's called the I-Zone with Dr. Antonio Burt, another great, phenomenal leader. So I taught 5th grade at Ford Road Elementary School for 6 years.
Girl,
under the
in
leadership
this teaching game for a minute.
Yes, under the leadership of Dr. Antonio Burt and Dr. Laquita Tate. Love me some Dr. Tate.
Yes, Dr. Tate.
And so in 2017, my dad took sick, passed away, and I always wanted to do middle school. I wanted to coach and give back what was given to me. And so in 2018, I went to Bellevue Middle School. Hey, Dr. Malone, taught 7th grade pre-algebra. And I was the head volleyball coach.
Oh, I know you loved it.
I loved it for 2 seasons. And then in 2020, I would move into my instructional leadership journey. I became a PLC coach. That's like an instructional facilitator.
Okay.
And I did that for a semester. And the next year, I applied for the assistant principal position. And I got that position.
Come on, Rika. Boo.
Yeah, and so, you know, just a babe, Dr. Tate, she took a chance on me as her AP. 2021 pandemic year. 21-22, that was going into my 2nd year as assistant principal. Dr. Tate took another position. So I became the interim principal of January 2022 at Alcy Elementary School. And you know, you just take the things that you learn as a teacher and all those great nuggets that you receive from your leaders, and you try to mimic and kind of package them into you, finding you, and letting it fit your vision. And so I was the interim principal. I served from January until April. And my ILD, we had a conversation. I love that lady. Shout out to you also, Dr. Stanford. She is hard on me, but I appreciate her. I appreciate Dr. Stanford. And she told me I was going to interview for the principal position, and I had no idea. And I went before Dr. Ray, April 2022.
Dr. George Ray.
Dr. George Ray.
Our former superintendent.
Former superintendent. Gave me the name, the rapping principal.
He gave you the name, the rapping principal.
Yes. And so on that day, April 13th, I was named the principal of Alcy Elementary School.
Yes.
And, you know, it's still like a dream, Ina, because my dream was to become a teacher. But God. He can do exceedingly abundantly, more than we can ever ask for.
That's true. That is so true.
Yeah.
So you
23 years in this thing.
23 years in the game, in the teaching game. Why did Dr. George Ray name you the rapping teacher?
Oh, so, you know, Dr. Ray, he was big on the mantra, together we must believe, together we will achieve, together we are reimagining 901. And so I wanted to find a way to really impact my students to do their best on state assessments. And we have the TCAP test, 10 ready. And I remember asking my daughter, because I would always step as a teacher, we'll step. And I remember asking my daughter, I said, TT, why don't you write a song for them? She said, I will, Mama. She said, but you going to perform it. I was like, no, I'm a principal, you know?
Yes.
And it really, really impacted scholars. It went viral. Moneybag, yo, just looked at my wrist, got time today. 10 ready is coming, is on the way. And so that's what Dr. Ray, he got it from, because I actually let him hear it at the end of my interview. Yeah, and I remember him saying, you didn't shout me out in it.
Oh, he wanted a little shout out.
Yeah,
okay,
we went
Dr.
back
Ray.
and I shouted him out. Hey, Dr. Ray, I did shout him out, and that was the rapping principle, and that's what the students, they look at now.
Right.
But it's their respect, and they know it's for motivation.
But Rika, you have always been a great connector with people, anybody, in my opinion. So you in this role as principal, you're finding ways to connect with the kids, and they need that. You're taking a different approach. What do you feel like, the kids these days, what are they thinking about now? Like, what is a normal routine day over there at Alcy?
Oh, yeah.
Because to me, like I said, you're a connector and you know how to engage them.
So you first have to let them know you care. But at Alcy, normal routine, 7:30 into the building. At 7:55, the students come in. At 8:10, we go on the intercom every morning.
What y'all doing? See, I know you love that intercom. I know that's going on.
For the whole month of February, we played Lift Every Voice and sing the Black National Anthem. And so now the students are able to select a song. I said, so what song we going to play? So they select a song, my announcers, and I play it over the intercom.
What they be selecting? Eureka McAfee.
I remember a couple of days ago, they wanted to play.
Yeah.
I just want
to
yeah. So we had to make sure we keep that part clean. And so it's just kind of a way for them to connect. Yeah. And we'll play that, or I may play some of that Fantasia, I believe, because, that's one of my favorites. And we'll play for about 60 seconds to 2 minutes sometimes. And then we go right on into our announcements each and every day. And that is the first way I connect with all of my scholars and all of the stakeholders in the building. And it's a routine every day. And we go into our core values, rules of engagement, and our creed and our motto. You don't want me to say the core values?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. And so we go on there and we talk about Alcy Elementary Eagles are E, empowered, A, assertive, G, goal-oriented, L, logical, E, efficient, S, strategic. Okay?
I like it.
And then we go over our rules of engagement.
Okay.
Eagles are powerful. Okay? Be positive. Take ownership. Make wise choices. Be empathetic. Be respectful. Be forgiving, be understanding, and be loving. Those are our rules of engagement for scholars and all adults in the building. Then our creed. Now I stole this one from Carnes Elementary School.
What is it?
I am one, but I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something.
Okay.
What I can do, I ought to do. And what I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do.
Okay.
Come on,
y'all
now.
better say that creed. They know that creed.
They know that creed.
They got to say it every day.
Every day.
Okay.
And the motto too.
Okay.
No excuses for excellence. Eagle soar.
You know what? It's something about when you speak something.
Really?
When you say it, when you have it come out your mouth, or even write it down.
Come on now.
Then you believe it.
Yes.
So
we have to be careful what we speak into children, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to speak life into them.
Yes.
And that's what I love about children. They'll listen to you, especially if they know you care. Sometimes you're going to have some that are challenged and you got to put a little more work into them. But every child has a superpower. And you have to get them to believe it and recognize it, because some of them don't recognize their powers.
So you see something in them that they don't see.
I do. I see me.
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Okay.
I see me. I think that's so key. If you don't see yourself in the children that you're servicing, you might be in the wrong place.
You might be. You might just be, honey. Wow. Okay. Principal over there at Alcy.
Shout out to all my Alcy Eagles. I love you.
I think she really do love y'all.
I do.
Like for real in real life. Repeat after me.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen. Say mine.
Amen. Say mine.
What do you think? And before I give you this question, this is a moment of transparency between you and I, Eureka. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge in the education system right now? And you've been in the education system for a long time.
Can I be honest with you?
Transparency.
Parental involvement. And it's not about just the presence of the parents. It's about parents trusting us as educators and sending kids to school every day. Just by sending your child to school every day, I know that you buy into my vision. I know that you trust this school. I know that you want the best for your child, because your actions speak louder than your words. So if we can get our parents to understand the importance of education and to bring the kids to school every day, if they do their part, they have done more than enough for me. That is the biggest challenge. And the pandemic really affected us. So we are still trying to get kids into school.
Wow.
We got to develop stronger relationships, and we got to regain the trust of our parents. And parents got to let us do our job.
What would you say is the percentage of kids that are not being brought to school by their parents?
I can only speak to my,
Right.
to my data. We had about a 60% chronic absenteeism last year.
60?
Yes, we've cut that in half with the help of my ILD, my counselors, just getting the parents reacclimated to bringing kids back to school.
Did they still have the choice to be online?
No, we're 100% in person now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're 100% back in person. So we are trying to get them to come on back.
What are they doing? Where
That's a
are
great
they?
question, Ina. That's a great question.
That's a lot of kids, even just at 30%.
Absolutely. Illnesses, transportation, death. So, there are so many factors that affect them.
Yeah.
And they're just babies. Yeah.
Aren't there like truancy laws in place to help with some of that?
Absolutely. Truancy is working hard day in and day out.
Do they go and knock on the people door? Like, how that work?
Now,
Rika?
they did at one point go out, to knock on doors. And even you will have teachers and principals going to houses now. But, this is a different day and age now,
Yeah.
But so after 3 days of absences, then there's a absence letter that's generated, and it goes to the parents' email.
Wow.
When they get to the 5th day, then they have to have a SART meeting. That's where they come and they meet with the schools, and we try to figure out what are the reasons why their child is absent, and to let them know to come on back in. When they get to 10 days, then it becomes truant. So, you have some leverage, you have some room, because we don't know what everyone is going through,
That's
right?
true.
So once it gets to that 10 day, then it moves into that SARB, and so that's when truancy steps in.
Wow.
But 10 days, that's a lot. That's a
is
lot
a
of
lot.
instruction that
Yeah.
students are missing.
Yeah.
It seems like it's really fast, but that's a lot of instruction. So we just have to continue to motivate students and motivate parents, because students will apply pressure to their parents and they'll bring them, but it's about keeping kids engaged and involved, and so they'll put their pressure on their parents to take them to school.
Oh, wow.
I know how we did, but we didn't really have to do that.
Right, because our parents was on that. Hey,
Right.
Let me ask you this, Rika. You were recently on a panel with one of our other classmates, Pastor Earl, Mikhail Lowry, and Dr. Johnson, I believe. And the main focus of the panel in town hall was, I guess, our thoughts with the Tyree Nichols situation. And you from an education standpoint, Dr. Johnson from an education standpoint as well with U of M, Mikhail from a political standpoint. But I thought it was so imperative that you were there to kind of give your insight on how our young Black boys are doing and how they're feeling about this situation. Where we are today with politics, with schools, it's kind of like a marriage somewhat. There are
Interconnected.
policies in place for you all. Kind of talk to some of that when the Tyree Nichols situation happened, what immediately your school had to undergo.
Oh, that was a really sad situation, the Tyree Nichols. Just making sure that we were ready to discuss it if students brought up the subject. Not initiating or pushing the issue, but just being prepared to speak to it in a manner to keep students comfortable. So, like I said, elementary school, K through 5th grade in my school, we really didn't have a lot of students who were really pushing the issue. And I think some of the kids, especially in the lower grades, were not even exposed to it. And so it's only those kids who were actually exposed to it that may even push. We had a very, very, very small number of students who even discussed it. But we were, ready to discuss with them just the emotional aspect of it, allowing them to be able to express the way they feel, making sure that it's self-led by the students, letting them just voice their concerns. Because it seems as if sometimes the city has gone numb to a lot of the
Yes,
crime
it
and
does.
different things that's going on, in the city. But I'm just really hoping that we can find a way to just come back together,
Yeah.
get our young, and it's gonna start with us getting our young people back, getting them back.
Yeah.
We got to bring them back to us,
And
keep
you've
them
taught a
close.
lot of them over the years. You still keep in touch
Yes.
with your students?
I do via social media, on Facebook. A lot of them will reach out to me and they try to explain to me. And I have to realize, they were 10 years old. Some of them are 30 years old now. And they're like, Miss McAfee, I'm not the same person I was when I was 10 years old. I'm like, you're right. But my heart always sings when I see them. I just saw two of my students, former students, last week. I was out for lunch and I saw them and I was just so excited. Whenever I see them, I'm always like, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. And so I have hundreds of pictures of my students and I'm always eager and excited to hear what they're doing. What are you doing? But I let them lead the conversation. I want to hear some of the things they tell me. I'm like, I don't remember that, but they really remember a lot.
Yeah.
Teachers, educators have a major impact and influence on students.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's next for you with the education system?
Ooh.
What are we doing
I
next?
just became a principal.
Okay, well, I already know. If I know Eureka McAfee.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Not even okay. I know you getting settled in your role, but I know you do have your sights on different things right now. Talk to me about it.
Okay, Ina. Since you asked, well, I've always wanted to start my own nonprofit organization, and so it won't go away. COPE will not go away. So Children of Parents Experiencing, because like I said, when I was in elementary, I had a dad who was a drug user, and it really affected our family in so many ways. But again, we had outlets, we had church, we had sports, and so COPE will be another outlet for students facing different challenges to be able to get the character ed. That's so important. Teaching our students respect, how to respond, teaching them those responsibilities, and also allowing them an opportunity to receive some of the academic support that they may need in ELA, writing, and math. Those are my three favorites, especially writing and math. Okay. Yes, and just making sure that they understand how to kind of matriculate, as they develop into adults. So
when can we expect this nonprofit?
Ooh, my goal for it to be up and running is by 2024.
Okay,
so next
that's
year.
soon.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Let me
now.
know if you need any help with anything.
I
know how to write. I know how to read. I know how to do math.
Write grants.
I know.
I'm so serious.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Other than that aspiration, I feel like, your YouTube channel will be popping in the education realm as well. Let's talk about that. What are we going to be doing on this YouTube channel?
Yeah, so, besides posting viral videos, I do want to connect with my students in a more academically inclined manner. Since they do log on to the YouTube channel and they tell me, Miss McAfee, I was watching you last night. So I want to make sure that every opportunity that I have to impact a scholar in a positive way, an impactful way, I want to make sure I'm imparting some knowledge into them. So I want to take those videos on there. They can stay, but I want to add some more academics to it. Read stories, go over sight words. Let's get these multiplication facts, So I think that's very important. Now they can go tap into Miss McAfee. We can add a little beat to it. And now we got kids learning multiplication facts. We got kids learning reading. They know sight words. How impactful would that be?
That would be very impactful because they are actually people on YouTube doing, something similar to what you said now, but they are not Eureka McAfee.
Right.
So I'm ready for you to let that really, explore that.
Absolutely. I received that.
Yes.
I can see my students on there sometimes with me as well.
Yes.
Miss Mac, we like to do it this way.
Okay.
Because, they keep us what? they keep us in tune.
Oh, yes,
with
they're
the
going to keep you in tune.
Because I'm a 70s baby.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby, right? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to that happening. I do want to bring up a current event that's going on. And we call this segment Esco's Pop Talk. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm very interested on your take on this thing, because you mentioned videos. We recently saw a video of Ja Morant
Oh, yeah.
online out there in Colorado, and he was rapping his song like the rapping teacher. But I think he was at the strip club. He was waving a little gun right here. It wasn't even being aggressive or anything.
Right.
However, there are rules in the NBA. He's the face of the franchise for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's suspended indefinitely. And this is just another incident that has happened with Ja Morant. It's kind of been a buildup of different incidences that has been going on. What do you think about this entire ordeal with Ja Morant being suspended, or even the behavior? Because Ja didn't come in the league like this.
How old is Ja?
Ja 23.
23. So I have a 24-year-old daughter,
Okay.
a 21-year-old son, and a 19-year-old son, right?
Right.
So Ja is still a baby.
Okay.
He's still developing as an individual, right? And he's also, like you said, the face of the franchise, right? So he's going to need interventions sometimes, and he needs support and guidance ongoing. Yeah, that was major, especially with everything that's going on, and you are a public eye. You have young people looking. Yeah. But I also want to kind of push on his people. You understand? His support group. Yeah. Because you have to continuously be in the ears of young people.
Right. And him and his daddy T seem to have a good relationship.
Right. Relationships are important.
Okay.
And so we still have to maintain it. Their parent
it's relationship.
Yeah, it's a balance now. Hold on now, mama still.
Okay.
But yeah, so I hurt for Ja, but I do understand. He's human. He makes mistakes. We all make some mistakes. And so he made a mistake that really impacted his career at this time.
Very much so.
I think he'll be able to bounce back. How? Yeah. I'm not for sure. Yeah. It's not the end of the world. But I want everyone to understand is that he's human and we all make mistakes. It's almost like when you're in the public eye, you're held to a higher standard.
That comes with a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think he needs to understand who he really is. You're held to a higher standard. You are. I am. And so he has to be careful. We all do. You understand? You have to know your position and the influence that you have on people. And he has to constantly be reminded of that. Because I would, Ja Morant, I would think that he understands that. But sometimes we don't really, understand just how much influence we have on people.
So we need to give him a little grace.
Absolutely.
I'm giving them some grace, all
please.
Right. But I've been looking at the how do you say it? The storm forming.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Event after event.
Event after event. And of course, my kids look up to Ja Morant. And I was actually at a Grizzlies game this past week with my brother, and it seemed like something was missing, but they won that night. And I think on the road they probably lost 3 straight. But Ja is a big component
absolutely
of what the franchise is today. And I agree with you. I hope it looks like they're going to give him another chance. His sponsors aren't pulling away just yet. They like the fact that he was accountable for his actions.
Absolutely.
And he came out with a statement very promptly. So we're going to give Ja some grace.
Come on now.
We're going to give Ja some grace.
That's right.
Because he 23? He still got some character building.
Now you learn from this one, Ja, and you keep living. Hold your head up. We gonna move forward.
Okay.
But hey, don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. You can keep the grill though. You keep the grill. You Memphis.
Right.
But okay, we gonna give you some grace, Ja Morant. Well, Eureka McAfee, I have enjoyed you today on the Verbally Effective Podcast. And I want you to get that YouTube going. I know you're settling in over there at Alcy, but I know those kids love and adore you. I know they do. I want you to let the Verbally Effective audience know how they can continue to follow your journey. How can they follow you on socials and keep up with you?
Well, the best way to keep up with me is get involved into this educational arena. But I'm on Facebook as Eureka McAfee, Instagram at Eureka McAfee. I do have TikTok at Eureka McAfee. Also, YouTube is Eureka Mac, M-A-C, Mac.
Okay.
So, yeah, on those platforms. I'm
All
at
right.
LinkedIn, Eureka McAfee. So, yeah.
So you're on there. You're on all those platforms, and we're going to make you go viral, Eureka McAfee. Well, honey, I love you. You know that.
More.
And, anything you need from me, just let me know.
I will definitely call you, Ina. Thank you so
Call
much for
me.
having me.
You're welcome. I enjoyed you today on the Verbally Effective Podcast, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to my sis over here at Alcy Elementary, Miss Delta Sigma Theta, and of course, she's leading and blazing trails in the education system. Hey guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button on all streaming platforms, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you.
This is the Spotlight Podcast Network.